Hi, it's Anthony Iannarino. It's January 1st, 2017. Happy New Year. Another chance for you to become the best ever version of yourself. I want to give you one big idea to think about how you go into 2017 and create the results that you haven't produced in the past. But to do this, we're going to have to talk about something that is counter to what you read and hear on the internet, and that's shoring up your deficiencies. What you hear right now is people saying, look, don't worry about what you're not good at, focus on your strengths. Do what you're very best at and don't worry about anything else. They'll tell you to double down on that or 10x it or whatever they'll tell you to do to give you the idea that you should just focus on what you're really good at. And there's nothing wrong with being good at something and focusing on that. But it's your deficiencies that prevent you from getting the results that you want if you don't do something about them. Human beings have different kinds of intelligences. All of us are good at some things and not good at others. So let me give you a couple ideas about lines of intelligence and skills that some people have at greater or lesser levels than others, and what you can do about them and how to think about this. So don't you know people who are super smart? On the cognitive line, when you just think about IQ, they're off the charts. They're the smartest people you've ever met. But don't you know some of them who aren't really good at human interactions? They don't have a lot of empathy, they don't have a lot of EQ or emotional intelligence, and you look at them and think, if only this person would be better at communicating and connecting with human beings, they could get so much more done. But they're not getting that done because they have this deficiency. And without shoring up that deficiency, then they're not going to be as effective as they could be. It's the deficiency that holds them back. And I'm not saying they have to be as strong on EQ as they are on IQ, but they have to get it up to a minimally acceptable level so that they can get the results they want. And don't you know people who are great at mathematics? They're really good with financial issues. So when you look at them, you think this person is really, really strong in this particular area. But in some other area, they're not quite as strong as they need to be. So maybe they're really good at that part of it, but they're not good at selling, for example. Maybe they're not good at selling their ideas. They can show you the math, but they can't convey the idea in some way that allows somebody to take the action that they want them to take. So all of us have these strengths and all of us have weaknesses. And you have to do something about the weaknesses that hold you back. So maybe you're really, really good at EQ, but you don't have business acumen. And if you don't have the business acumen, maybe you can go out and connect with people, but you can't sell your ideas because you don't have the advice in a way that somebody can look at it and say, that's a compelling reason for me to change. So that will hold you back. Last year on October 11th, I published this book, The Only Sales Guide You'll Ever Need. And what it is it's a deficiency model. What the book does is it looks at all of the mindset, beliefs, and behaviors that good salespeople have and all the skills that they have. And if you don't have those, you can go through a book like this and you can find a way to shore up those deficiencies, because if you don't shore up the deficiencies, they'll hold you back. And let me give you an example of that. The very first chapter of the book is self-discipline. Don't you know people, maybe intimately, who aren't self-disciplined? Maybe somebody you see in the mirror every morning isn't as disciplined as you wish they were. It's the self-discipline that holds them back. And so they might be great at prospecting, they might be great at closing, they could be great in front of a customer, but they're not in front of that customer. And why not? Because they don't discipline themselves to do the prospecting work that they need to do. That's what holds them back. And don't you also know people who have a bad attitude? They're not optimistic, they're pessimistic, they're cynical. And you look at them and think, if only they would just drink the Kool-Aid here, they would just do so good because they're smart, they're really good with people, they have everything they need to succeed, except they have a bad attitude. It's the attitude that holds them back. Or maybe it's a lack of creativity, a lack of resourcefulness. They look to other people for answers and then they don't take action themselves and say, what ideas can I bring to this? What can I do before I have to go and ask someone for help? So I'm pitching you the book. The book is The Only Sales Guide You'll Ever Need, but I'm more pitching you the idea. Whatever is your weakness, and it's going to hold you back until you do something about it. So wherever you're weak, whatever you need to shore up, you need to shore up that deficiency. And again, not that you have to become a master in one area. Maybe you're not great at financial issues, but you need to be good enough at financial issues to have a conversation with a client where you can talk about their profit and loss statement or their balance sheet. I don't know what it is for you, but whatever it is, you might find it here in this book. And if you don't, you'll find it somewhere else. So go roaring into 2017, ready to produce better results than you've ever produced. and shore up your deficiencies. Double down on your strengths, that's fine, but make sure you do something about the things that will hold you back. I'm Anthony Iannarino. You can find me at thesalesblog.com. When you go there, do sign up for the newsletter. I also wrote a personal invitation for you to have the best year ever, and you're going to find it on LinkedIn. It's my Sunday newsletter, so if you're not getting that, you didn't get this, but we'll leave it in the show notes below, so you can go out to LinkedIn and check that out. Thanks a lot, and you will see me tomorrow.